if we take that level of detail, if we take that level of attention, that level of time and care in every aspect of our life, in every relationship, in every interaction, in our business, whether we love it or whether we hate it. Just imagine approaching life with that level of intentionality and the massive changes that it can create in your life. So today, we're going to be exploring a common misconception that's been holding so many people back. And that's the idea that in order to have a breakthrough, you have to have a breakdown. And a lot of people think that in order to have a breakthrough, that there has to be some big, extravagant event that has to happen first before they can have any real progress in life. Some event filled with drama and pain, or just something that jolts them at the core. But here's the thing. That's not always the case. You don't actually have to have a breakdown to break through. No, some of the most profound breakthroughs can happen in the quietest moments, without any drama, without any breakdown at all. It can be as simple as one door opening and another closing, or a decision that leads to a different choice in that moment, which leads to a different courageous decision in the next moment. I know that some of you may be feeling stuck in life. You might be waiting for that big moment, that wake-up call that we talked about in the last episode. That moment that jolts us awake and forces us to look at the bigger picture. You might even be scared of what that moment could look like. Will it be a health scare? Maybe a failed business? Or a loss of a loved one? But what if I told you that breakthroughs don't have to be dramatic? That they can be gentle, subtle shifts that happen in our everyday life. Let me share a story with you about two people that I know, a student and a teacher who was mentoring him. So one day, the student named David, he entered a building where he was being mentored by the teacher. So he pulled the door open and then he walked down the hallway and then he greeted the teacher. And just as he's about to put his hand out to shake the teacher's hand, immediately the teacher told him, no, go out and do it again. So David, he looks at the teacher confused because for the past 3 months, he's been entering the building the same way each morning. And the teacher says to him, your energy wasn't right. It was too timid and quiet. Go and do it again. So David, he walks back down the hallway towards the exit. He opens the door and then he steps outside the building. And then he stands there for a few seconds wondering what the heck just happened. And then he gathers himself and then he opens the door. But this time he knocks on the glass of the door so the teacher knows he's there. And then he yells out, good morning, David here. And then he walks down that hallway and then he greets the teacher with a handshake. And just as he's reaching his hand out, the teacher says to him, no, do it again. This time without the knock. A little confused, David turns around. He walks back down the long hallway towards the exit, and then he opens the door, and then he steps outside the building. He takes a few deep breaths, and then he gathers himself. And then he does it again. He opens the door, but this time without the knock. And then he yells out, good morning, David here. And then he walks down the hallway, he greets the teacher, and he sticks out his hand to shake his teacher's hand. And then the teacher finally shakes his hand and says, much better. So what just happened here in this interaction between David and his teacher? And what was the lesson? How you show up matters in every aspect of your life, whether that's walking into a building to greet your teacher or a simple interaction during the day, or how you approach certain tasks and activities during the day. How you show up matters. And this example with David, it was such a small thing. And yet, if we take that level of detail, if we take that level of attention, that level of time and care in every aspect of our life, in every relationship, in every interaction, in our business, whether we love it or whether we hate it, just imagine approaching life with that level of intentionality and the massive changes that it can create in your life. So during this interaction, did David break down in the moment? No. Did he have a breakthrough? Heck yeah. Did he have to hit rock bottom to learn this lesson? No. It was a simple exercise, a small moment in time, literally 2 minutes. But it was a breakthrough that shaped how he approached everything in life from that point forward. How he approached his business, how he approached his relationships, how he approached life in general. So how can you create breakthroughs without breakdowns? It's simple, but it involves being intentional about how you show up in each moment. Just like in that interaction between the student and the teacher. Pay attention to your energy, your mindset, your approach to each interaction and task, and ask yourself, how am I currently showing up? And if it's not aligned to that best version of yourself, then ask yourself, how do I need to show up in order to be that best version of me? As you go through your week, I want you to be on the lookout for these small breakthrough moments. Maybe it's a conversation with a loved one that shifts your perspective. Maybe it's a moment of clarity while you're doing a task that you've already done for the 100th time. Whatever it is, recognize it, appreciate it, and let it guide you towards your next breakthrough, towards that aha moment, towards that positive change. Whatever it is, just know that these breakthrough moments are everywhere, even in the smallest things. Remember, you don't need to break down to break through. Sometimes it's these simple, everyday moments that can create that change in our lives. And in our next episode, we're going to go ahead and continue to explore different ways to help you create breakthroughs in your life. More specifically, we're going to explore the topic of the inner game behind success so you can create a life that you love. Until then, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I love you all. And as always, let's create your next breakthrough. And here's a special bonus gift for our listeners. We're all about getting you into alignment so you can live a life that you love. It's a breathwork meditation that I highly suggest that you do. Go through it, experience it, and share with me the results. You can access it at www.createyournextbreakthrough.com, or you can check it out in the description below. This has been your host, Edmund. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.